What's going on, Junkies? It's Kenshiro. We're back with Culture Junkies Live. We got a really hyped show for you because why? We saw Justice League yesterday. I can't even tell you how hyped we are for this movie, and we absolutely cannot wait to share it with you. But before we get all into that, let me introduce who's going to be on the show with me today. I got the great Kuji, and I got GQ. What's up, guys?
Hello, everybody. And I know you guys can't wait for Friday. All I got to say is they finally got it right. Yes.
Absolutely. They absolutely got it right. GQ.
What? I'm over here ready for my killing joke.
Wait, man. Is that? I got you. Nice Joker cosplay right there that you got. Also, guys, we got a couple of more new contributors to the show. What's going on to Sabrina Perry? What's up, lady? How are you doing? Thank you for joining us.
What's up, everybody? It's great to be on. Very excited.
Yeah, awesome. LGZ is back. What's up, girlfriend?
Hey.
And last but not least, we got Mr. Anthony Minter checking in from the great state of Texas. What's up, fam?
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hello, Anthony? Can you hear me? Maybe you can't hear me. Maybe you can't hear me.
I could hear him. I don't know.
I can certainly hear him. I mean, we certainly hear his breathing enough. So hopefully he gets that worked out and he actually does check in. Maybe he needs to stop watching the show and actually start playing into it. So anyway, guys, yeah, we saw Justice League yesterday, and oh my goodness, that thing was ridiculously hype. I don't know where to begin. I mean, honestly, we don't want to spoil it for anyone. So we're gonna do our best to kind of like keep the spoilers out of this thing. So let's approach this from the standpoint that you guys haven't seen it yet, which obviously you guys haven't. But I had a bunch of questions that I was actually going to bring up to everybody, and so I'm gonna go ahead and ask those of the contributors to the show right now, and kind of get their feelings on what they think everything thought about Justice League. You know, honestly, it's had a very difficult, I don't want to say difficult past, but obviously the fallout from Batman vs Superman wasn't that great. You know, first of all, let me ask LGZ, you be quiet because I already know what you're gonna say. But Sabrina, what did you think of Batman vs Superman when you saw it initially? Unmute your mic first, of course.
Yeah. Sorry, somebody muted me. Wait, sorry, what was the question again?
The question is, what did you think of Batman vs Superman when you first saw it? Like, what was your reaction to it?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I gave it a chance. I think there was just so much hype, and I was really excited for it because I like Batman and I like Superman, and it was just kind of a letdown.
In what way?
I just thought that it was that whole my mom's name is Martha, your mom's name is Martha, I'm not mad at you anymore. It didn't make sense. Like I couldn't handle that as like the I'm not gonna attack you anymore. I mean, like, there's so many other like video game stories where Batman fights Superman. It just makes more sense how it ends. Yeah.
Well, when I saw oh, did you hear me? You hear me now? Do you hear me? All right. Hear me now? LGZ. While Anthony actually bring us back to which that number everybody.
I really loved it, and as you can see by the card that I have, I need everyone to stop hating on Batman versus Superman. It was a good movie. Yeah, okay, the Martha thing was like crazy. However, y'all make it seem like the Martha thing was like the whole movie. It was like 2 seconds. Like, y'all need to stop hating on the movie. It says stop hating. That's what it says. It says stop hating. Stop hating.
But hold on. On that note, though, as far as what Elle is saying, you can't discount the fact that that was a weak story point. Can't really just go ahead and say that, oh, it was only 2 seconds. That's like saying you got Star Wars and he says, you know, you get down to Vader and he's like, no, I am your father. And Luke's like, well, I already knew that. I mean, you know, Obi-Wan kind of told me of it. I mean, he was trying to mix it up and I figured it out. You can't just discount it. It was in the movie. It was a bad choice. It was a bad story point. Given how driven we have been made to believe Batman was at that moment, we would have been like, he wouldn't have cared if your mother and his mother were the same person at that point. He was ready to kill them. So, for it to be this little story point of, oh, it's only 2 seconds. No, it was a bad 2 seconds. It shouldn't have been done.
It was a bad 2 seconds, but there was so much stuff that happened outside of that little point of the movie that, you know, that is, to me, it was insignificant versus the rest of the movie. I think the biggest part of it was
that bad 2 seconds carried over to the other 6 hours that this movie went on.
Hell, you know how like when they have like those cartoons where like they'll just get off the cliff and then all of a sudden some seagull will come along and like land on the front of the car and then tip it over the cliff? That was the Martha moment. That was the last little bit of bricks that we did not need after everything else you made us watch in that film that did not need to happen.
Oh my God, you guys are so young.
But again, it's a brighter day because they finally figured out that they're a comic book company doing comic book movies. Honestly,
really briefly, like, you know, the three of us, myself, Kenshiro, Daidakuji right there, and GQ, who's dressed up like the Joker from The Killing Joke. We saw Justice League last night, and we can definitely allay your fears. We're not going to spoil anything for you, but this film, like, if I was prone to crying in movies like that, I probably would have done so. Like, this thing was that great. Dido?
It definitely was, because the stuff that I wanted to see in Batman versus Superman, the things that, and like GQ was saying, it's just like the story and Sabrina as well, it just made no sense on how they tried to bring them together. It's because they had some poor writing, some poor directing, and the movie could have been greater. This movie definitely corrects all that stuff because, again, they realize it's a comic book movie. They show things that aren't real, not realistic, because that was the flaw, in my honest opinion, for most of the DC movies, is that they're trying to make it too real. And it's all
like I've always said, what's real, right? What's real about a dude that can fly and shoot lasers out of his eyes? Are you kidding me?
There's nothing real. You don't need brooding Superman. I told you how to correct that. No brooding Superman. No freaking like melancholy stories. They should have already had him establish who he was in the beginning of Man of Steel. They could have showed flashbacks of him saving people. And had they established that in Man of Steel, that Superman is on this planet, he knows who he is, he knows what his job is, he knows what he wants to do. I think that would have helped it all out, because you get this in this movie. Right. You get that. So I'm so happy that Wonder Woman started off, you know, that started to me the good. This one took it, shot it past. I just hope they stay up there. That's all I want. They're at the top right now. I know there's gonna be some ups and downs, but just stay up on that level right there, and everything will be great. Just
I totally agree with you.
That you keep hearing about is troubling.
Hey, Kenshiro.
Yes.
Okay, so there's a comment from Albert in the chat room on Facebook. It said it wasn't the best part, but it was something that helped him look at him in a common way, and I think that helped deflate the anger.
Man, don't nobody want to hear that. It was still Martha. Are you kidding me? Martha, save Martha. Come on, man. Don't nobody want to hear that. Save Martha. You're letting him kill Martha. No.
No. We already talked this last week. Ain't nobody in this whole chat that would have worked on. You know why? Because none of us call our mom by her first name.
Damn right. You're letting him kill my mom. Had he said that, Batman would have been like, what?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, cause ain't nobody. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't even know what my mom's first name is. I'm 41, so I'm sorry.
All right.
My mom's first name is still Mom, so
Right.
don't know,
That's it.
That is so crazy.
I don't know who Martha is, or I don't.
Right,
I'm saying, I'm
Martha.
sorry.
You're like, no.
Wait, hold on. And Albert just commented again. I'm not saying that it was brilliant, but it could work.
Man, that's fine in some kind of way to justify this. No, that's not gonna work. I'm sorry. So anyway, moving on. We're not gonna dwell on that. But I wanted to ask some questions, some more, and it looks like Q finally got in and he's joined us a little bit. I don't know if he can speak yet. Looks like he might still be trying to work some stuff out. But Anthony Mentor switched to his laptop.
Oh, yeah,
Anthony, yeah, we can hear you, but just fix your stuff. I'll come back to you, dude. I'll come back to you. Get yourself straightened out. You're looking a little bit better now. Looking a little bit better. Your internet looks about as bad as Super Nerd's internet, but we'll deal with it right now. How you doing, bro?
I'm good. Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties. I'm here. I never used Google Hangouts before. Yo, glad to be here.
Learn something new every day.
Y'all got to see Justice League way early and shit. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't wait to see this movie.
Yeah, you can't wait, and you're justified in your enthusiasm about it. So I wanted to ask the rest of you guys that are contributors that didn't get to see the show, see the movie yet. But a lot's been made about Zack Snyder and his involvement or lack thereof over the past, I'd say maybe, I think it's been like 6 months since he kind of like dropped off the face of the earth a little bit and kind of like retreated from even promoting this thing. But it just came out today that the producer revealed that Snyder, it's been about a 80-20 split between what Snyder's stuff in this film versus Whedon's involvement in this film. Well, he directed, but like when you heard about all the stuff that was going on with Snyder, did that kind of like affect your enthusiasm for the film, or did you kind of like retain some excitement, or even though you had kind of cause for pause? LGZ, I'll start with you because you're like the resident like BVS fan in this chat. So why don't you chime in?
Well, to be honest with you, when it comes to movie, I never know what to expect. I never know what to think, or I just kind of go with the flow, because you never know what a movie's gonna do, right? So it's just like I'm just gonna go with it, and I'm just gonna see if it works out. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't, right? So that's just how I feel. I would rather, I get most of my joy from like shows and comics and stuff like that. So I mean, the movies are always going to be some aspect of a movie that you don't like. So I mean, it's just I just kind of, you never know with that.
Okay, Anthony, Mentor, what did you think about what happened with Snyder? And Sabrina, you two, both of you, just kind of just give your quick thoughts about that.
Well, I think his situation was unfortunate, but at the same time, I was kind of excited when I heard that Josh Whedon had took over. So it was, to me, I think it was a win for the studio, but at the same time, I mean, I feel where, what happened with Zack Snyder, but I think he wasn't a fit for this whole DC universe, to be honest.
All right. So, I mean, and a lot of times, Sabrina, you chime in as well. He's been kind of like made to be almost like the fall guy for everything that's gone wrong with the DCEU, right or wrong. Do you think that was fair to him? Do you think we judged him harshly?
I don't know if that's definitely not fair, and it is sad what happened to his daughter, which
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she so that it's definitely not fair. I like Zack Snyder's movies. I mean, I thought he did a really good job with like Watchmen, like 300. And obviously Josh Whedon is a good person to do the other 20%. I think that the stuff that they've done together, but I think that they balance out. And me not watching the movie or being frustrated about him not doing much it didn't really affect it at all. I'm still excited to watch Justice League.
Oh yeah, I think actually Zack Snyder's best movie I think is Man of Steel. I really love Man of Steel. I think it's like an underrated masterpiece. I think you know what I'm saying from its visual aspects, from its storytelling. You know what I'm saying it does have some dialogue problems and a couple story problems. But the Kevin Costner, I don't know why he didn't save his father. You know what I'm saying? But I think Man of Steel was a good kicking off to you know what I'm saying the DCEU. But I think definitely BVS was a step in the wrong direction. Then when you're losing, everybody, you know what I'm saying, gets on you and you know what I'm saying, and you get a downfall. But I think Zack Snyder's a good guy. I was on set with him. He's a really cool guy. He's really passionate about what he does. And I'm glad to see that the positive reactions that's coming from Justice League and everybody's gravitating towards it. Every review I hear is positive, but I think it's the Zack Whedon combination that's you know what I'm saying, making this really work. You know what I'm saying? Because Zack Snyder's not strongest storytelling. Let's tell the truth.
That's hey, I mean that's. She actually wrote it backwards this time, so it showed up right. I'll give LGC some props for that. So GQ and Dido, based off of us seeing the movie, do you feel like we owe Snyder an apology? Do you think we were too harsh on him? Okay.
Nope.
Why?
I'm not. Okay, so remember how I said that they finally let this become a comic book movie and they stopped with that realism BS that, in my honest opinion, what hurt Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, the Christopher Nolan movies, that to me hurt DC because comic books are not real. They're not. They're fantasy. They're stuff we like. And Zack Snyder, for whatever reason, I think that's his way of telling a story. He wants to make it as real, like if this would be in real life as possible. Mm-hmm. And I think the influence from what I saw now, I think it's kind of hard to tell the difference from just watching the movie, who directed what. Mm-hmm. But if you watch the movie, just some of the things that I noticed weren't in the other movies that were 100% Zack Snyder. That was the comic book stuff. The like the way the Flash was, you know, that was not there before. The way, you know, Batman even was not there before. And a lot of that stuff it was just you. I'm trying to talk without giving too much away, people. It's just
it's good.
It's really hard.
Yeah, it is extremely really hard because I can't describe anything. I don't want to describe anything, but you can tell the differences between the movies. Like even Wonder Woman, because it didn't have a Zack Snyder influence, still to me seemed more like a comic book movie. Like she's from Themyscira, she is a god, even though she didn't know she was. She has superpowers. She uses these superpowers, and it all worked. And I've talked ad nauseum that I wished things would have been different with, you know, Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman. It's not. It is now. It is not with this movie. We can move forward. If the influence is more Whedon than Snyder, you'll know it if the new movies come up and Snyder's 100% involved and Whedon's not. You'll be able to see it because that tone is going to be different. And as of right now, I think Whedon has a lot more influence in the tone because it did not feel like those other movies at all. It did not.
I'm sorry. I just want to say we have a comment in Facebook. It says Kyle Jackson said Snyder is a good that needs a filter, or maybe you saying Snyder is good but he needs a filter, giving him free reign.
He's a good director that needs a filter. That's he's saying that's what he's saying. That's Fallen Marvel, by the way.
Oh, okay. Oh, hey.
Yeah. So yeah, he's saying.
Before I give mine, Peter Anthony is also saying he disagrees. This is the realism in the Batman movies made it hit home. When they are heavy on CGI, it loses its field. I don't believe that's what Dido was referring to as far as realism. I think he was referring to them trying to ground it as if these are people that exist in our world that we live in right here. And it's like, dude, yes, Batman is the most realistic hero, so to speak, out of all the heroes that exist.
Right.
But beyond that, if you look at any comic book, any cartoon, he's doing some ridiculously I don't give a damn if you're peak human or not. He's doing some stuff that's impossible. So
absolutely,
it's not so much grounding it in realism as the way we understand that, okay, physically you can do this or you do that,
right?
Or even CGI. It's more or less of they're trying to have the tone and approaching it like, oh well, here's Batman and here's all his stuff and he's got military grade this and it's like, no, just let it be that he has these damn grapples that work. That's all it is. We don't need, we don't need
and that's a popular fallacy. Yeah. That's a popular fallacy of the Nolan films. I mean, that's you love them or hate them, but because they're so mired in realism, they were so really well received, they think that should apply to almost every other DC property. No, what works for Batman works for Batman. It doesn't work for Green Lantern. It doesn't work for Superman. So you shouldn't do that with them. That's my opinion.
And Keenan,
I agree.
Yeah, I think my biggest issue was that both of you can't have two brooding superheroes.
Amen.
Team up. I mean,
amen.
Especially because Superman is not a brooding type character.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I disagree.
Superman's supposed to be your symbol of hope.
Exactly.
When he ain't got no hope, it's like, what the hell?
Right.
I'm gonna tell you something. One thing, and I'm gonna put this real quick. I'm gonna tell you one thing real quick. This movie was so good that if they put the Green Lantern in it, you would have been like, I want a Green Lantern movie right now.
Nice.
I was hoping that would happen.
Yeah. All right, hold. Let's let GQ give his response to what I was saying about whether, Snyder is unfairly taking too much
blame in this. Snyder is taking the blame that he earned, basically, because again, he took the most, like Anthony was saying, the most hopeful beacon of hope character and basically turned him into emo Superman, Batman's wannabe, sort of kind of. So it's like Superman's never supposed to be that. I mean, he has his moments where he gets downtrodden and he gets knocked down and he has to kind of go through it, but not through the entire damn movie. So I mean, it's like that's on Snyder and only Snyder, because he handled Man of Steel and he also handled Batman versus Superman. Dido was 100% right. There are definite beats that you can tell is a Whedon touch, and it's and again, not giving anything away. You sit there and there's moments it was Joss Whedon that put that in there for some of those reshoots.
Right.
There's just things that happen that it's like that's so comic book and it fits so well that I'm sorry, Snyder, as great as his visuals are, he's not a great storyteller, and that's something that Whedon has got over him in spades.
Right. An absolute weakness. Absolutely.
There's a certain little touches when you see the final film that it's like, yeah, they tied that together because Whedon came back for those reshoots. I mean, not came back, but I'm sorry, was brought in for those reshoots. And again, I'm not knocking Snyder as far as his family situation. That's tragic. That's definitely horrible. And I'm not even saying it's a great thing that he had to step out, because it's like you don't want him to step out for those reasons. If he decided, hey, I need some help with this, I'm just not liking how it's coming together, and he brought Joss in that way, I'd be all cool with it. And then I'd give him his actual, just read him the riot act on the things that he did mess up on. But for the reasons that he stepped out, I am not going to hold that against him. And then I'm not even going to praise the fact that, yes, Whedon came in and did a damn good job, tying it all together. I'm glad he did, but I'm not saying that I'm overly happy and overjoyed that the reason why it had to happen. But like I said, for what the end product was, it was definitely a good team. Well, not team up even. Just it's a good addition to the.
Now look.
Oh.
I mean, just real quick. And we speculated enough about its past and how it might be affecting its future. Now, now I'm going to open it up to where. And I don't know if anybody out there has also had a chance to actually see some of the screenings of Justice League like we did last night. But, we can real briefly kind of go over what we loved about this film. Like, without spoilers, we can definitely do that. And, any of the correspondents, you guys want to ask us questions like what you're curious about, like whether it be tone, like who stood out as far as like, characters, does the villain, let's start with the villain, right? Steppenwolf. A lot of people say Marvel has problems doing villains, right? I think we can rest assured say that this is a comic book movie problem. Like unless it's like an A-list villain, like super tier, like everybody knows, almost a household name, like you really can't mess with this dude. Almost everybody else has not fit the bill. The Vulture on Spider-Man Homecoming like outdid himself, and I think that's because of Michael Keaton, but Steppenwolf was definitely a weak spot in this film. Like just like Ares was a weak spot in Wonder Woman, Steppenwolf was a weak spot in this film. Agree or disagree, guys?
I agree. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the problem you have, and this is again why Marvel did have the advantage in this. Marvel had 5 movies before Avengers, so it's like you can't. There's no way to get around that. That's how they built it up. So, and even the villain for Avengers was introduced in one of the earlier films. So it's like you already know who this guy is. You don't need any other explanation. For Steppenwolf, it's just kind of like, well, if you saw the extended version of this film, you may have caught a glimpse of like the early animatic for what we put into the film, because that's the only time you hear about or even see Steppenwolf. Don't even get his name. You just basically get a quote unquote glimpse of what he's kind of supposed to look like, and you get nothing, no words, no dialogue, no nothing. So for them to just drop him in, now granted, any comic book fan, worth their salt knows who Steppenwolf is. They know the connection to Apocalypse and all that other sort of thing, and they gloss over it in the movie. But it's one of those, you've got all this other stuff you got to build up and explain, and the villain is just another thing that got lost in the shuffle. So I mean, and again, it's a standard movie thing. It's the usual movie fight. So I mean, it is what it is. But for all the people that always say Marvel has weak villains, DC ain't done that much better so far.
Damn straight.
Only Heath Ledger's Joker is the only one that really truly stands out, because Zod was nice. Zod was nice, but he got his ass kicked in the first 15 minutes of him getting his powers. So I'm sorry.
Oh no, they killed everybody.
And he got his neck broke.
Right.
Yeah,
so,
his neck broke, but he was about that life though, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, hold on. You say that, but here's my issue with that. He literally told Superman, I have been born and trained to be a warrior. So the second a warrior gets an enhancement, that means that since given what they already know about themselves, and you give them an enhancement on top of that, I am kicking the ass of anybody. That's like me playing Street Fighter, any Street Fighter right now, and a rookie that just picked the controller up beats my ass. That is not even. That makes absolutely no sense, because I've been playing Street Fighter since Street Fighter's been around.
But to give it leverage, Kal-El been on the planet longer, so you know what I'm saying. He might might have a little bit trick up his sleeve.
I think
that's the only reason.
I think I'm in the corner with GQ, because to piggyback off that, what training has Superman had?
Exactly. Everybody he's gone up against.
He is not a warrior.
Exactly. Everybody he's gone up against has been an ant by comparison to him. Just straight up, Zod has been fighting ever since he's been born. That's what he does.
Had they done the movie like I said they would have done the movie, Superman would have been trained in Kryptonian martial arts, because he would have knew who he was.
Right. Because again, I'm sorry.
I agree with GQ, man. Come on.
Because think about it. Let's go back to the original Christopher Reeve Superman. He stayed in the Fortress of Solitude from the time he was a teenager all the time when he was a grown man. Training, doing whatever, learning from Jor-El. He had how much time with Jor-El? 2 hours?
No.
Hey, here's your costume. Hey, figure out how to fly. Guess what? I'm going to show up on the ship while you're trying to save Lois and give you some cryptic little ideas of, hey, you're more powerful than you expect. But I mean, hey, hit that panel. Lois is out there about to die. You better go get her.
Right.
Dude.
Like took a look.
Kal-El had a codex, though. He got the codex. I don't know.
That don't mean nothing. The codex is just a blueprint. The codex is a blueprint. But anyway, a lot of people in the comments, they want us to kind of talk a little bit, and I'm sure some correspondents think of some really basic questions, non-spoilerific questions that you guys would like us to answer. One of the questions that is thrown out there is, who stole the show? So Dido, who to you stole the show? Now, and I think everybody's gonna have maybe a different answer. So in this movie, who do you stole the show, Dido?
Well, I wasn't expecting much out of Ezra Miller. I think that's his name.
Yep.
For, the Flash. And I think he did a good job. Now, I stress this, and I'll repeat it every episode, that I don't read that many comic books, and the comic books I do read are not the mainstream ones, because they're too damn convoluted for me. But from my understanding, and I'm probably wrong, completely wrong, I could have sworn Barry West was not a very
Barry West
type. Barry West.
You mean Wally West?
Barry Allen. Barry Allen Wally West is the one that's more of a jokester kid type mentality, and Barry Allen is supposed to be the straight collared type person. But I never got that watching the cartoons. And look, I'm not trying to tell anybody that I know comic books because I watched the cartoon, but I always assumed that he was a little bit more lighthearted type person, unlike the TV show Flash, where he's just, I don't know what the heck I'm doing type person and very doubtful. But I liked his Flash. I really did. I mean, he was the only one cracking the jokes because you had to have somebody like that, and I'm kind of glad they didn't.
That's not true. There was some others that were cracking.
Well, I mean,
there
were other jokes, and they were a little bit more subtle. But I mean, he was more so cracking the jokes, dude. He was a comedy relief, period. And
yes, he was.
I'm glad they just didn't do Teen Titans Go Cyborg.
Yeah,
that would have been ridiculous. But yeah. I mean, that to me he kind of stood. I just, like I said, I wasn't expecting anything from him because I do like Grant Gustin's Flash, and this one is I like that. I like that Ezra Miller's Flash as well. Except for, well, maybe we'll talk about that next week when everybody.
GQ.
I enjoyed Cyborg quite a bit.
Cyborg my man, he stole my guy. I didn't think he was gonna pick Cyborg.
No, Cyborg did a damn good job because it's one of those characters that is very like Dido said. If you go back to Teen Titans Go, which I despise with a passion,
Same.
I mean, there's certain parts of it that are interesting, but I do not like Teen Titans Go. I like Teen Titans, period. So, I mean, it's like there's a lot of ways that could have gone. They could have made him super stereotypical, super annoying. They let him be what he is. He's a genius level kid that happened to be an athlete that got into an accident that got rebuilt by a mother box. And damn it, if he didn't play the hell out of that role, dude did an outstanding job. Everybody, like I said, everybody did very well in the roles that they did, but he did a damn good job. It's like he made it like you were rooting for Cyborg, and it's just like that's a good thing. It made you care about the characters. That was the one thing.
I absolutely have to agree with that because to me, I knew nothing about Ray Fisher. Like I'd never seen him act in anything before. I think this is like, isn't this like his debut? Like this is like his first big role.
Broadway.
Yeah, so like he's like a stage actor. So obviously, he's got acting chops, and it showed because the nuances, the way that he played Cyborg, he played him like he was just this tortured guy who didn't really believe that he was human. He didn't know how much of him was actually human and how much of him was something else. He thought, at some points he thought he was an alien, or he was like some threat to humanity that, and his father turned him into this like almost Frankenstein's monster. And I love, of course, Silas Stone played by the great Joe Morgan.
Joe Morton, like the salt,
Sorry,
Morton.
The great Joe Morton. I mean, honestly,
exactly. Skynet.
Great.
Every other like bad apocalyptic black scientist you ever need.
Right.
He did it.
He was great. I mean, he was great. I mean, obviously we know about his acting chops, and he did a great job playing off of each other. So honestly, to me, Cyborg was also my pick for the guy that kind of stood out to me. We even from the trailers, I think you knew exactly what you were going to get from Aquaman, and he did not disappoint. The ladies are going to love him. I mean, let's just say that.
Yeah, but again, Momoa was for me. Once they cast him to begin with, I'm like, okay, at least they're on the right track. Because Momoa, I've always liked him as an actor and just as a dude. He's always had like just a certain attitude and a certain just air about him in the roles that he plays. And he has the look, he has that fit. Like he did that movie with Stallone, Bullet to the Head, and it was like, dude, this dude's facing off against an action hero legend, and he's holding his own, and he's interesting as hell. It's like he's cool as hell. So Momoa has always been like a very, very good pick right from the start. And then, like I said, with Cyborg, there is a line very early in the film that pretty much sums up that character, and they did such a damn good job.
Oh yeah,
with the way they
good.
played that. Just that one scene alone is like it's so subtle, but it's like it sums up everything you need to know about Cyborg in that one little scene, and it's just like, dude, they finally understand these characters.
They get it.
They finally understand how to portray this on screen without making it just so damn heavy and annoying.
Peter Anthony, we will definitely get to your question, but I'm gonna let some others, let the correspondents ask if there's anything like, do you guys got any things that you want to know about the film as far as like that we didn't go over already that you're kind of looking forward to?
Dark side in it.
Huh?
That's a spoiler.
Is Darkseid in it?
I'm just.
That's a good question. That's a really good question. Dido, why don't you take that one?
No.
No, come on, throw her a bone. A little bit.
Let me throw her a bone. I mean, without trying to spoil anything. No, Darkseid's not in it. Do you hear his name?
Yes.
I just know other people other than me are probably curious about it, you know.
Well, I'm sure they're curious about a lot of things.
I'm sorry, but that's like us answering is Thanos at the end of the Avengers film.
Bro, yeah, like that, yeah.
It is. Say nothing because it's like that's kind of the shock. That's the surprise. You can't really answer that.
All right.
I've been pissed if anybody told me Thanos showed up at the end of the first Avengers.
Oh man,
it's J.K. Simmons a good Commissioner Gordon.
J.K. Simmons is good at everything he does. I'm sorry.
I know, but I just wanted to know.
Yes.
You like his take?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder why he got so damn buff before this film.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He didn't even get the show out. He didn't even get the show out.
Right, like JK was like he was auditioning to be like a parademon or something. Man, I'm like,
bro, hey, remember when we saw that picture, right? And then I think that was like right around the time that Chadwick Boseman was supposedly working out. And Megatron like kind of was losing his shit because he was like, look at this guy. He's Commissioner Gordon and he's in there. He's in the gym. Like working out. He was going 8.
Yeah,
he was going 8.
JK was doing his thing, man. He was like,
yeah, he was.
He was like, we are farmers, but damn it, I'm up in the gym.
Right. So anybody else got any other questions on the correspondence?
Yeah, I got a quick question. I just want to know, since y'all seen the movie, I wonder, do all the chemistry work? It seems like what I'm hearing, the most important part of the movie of the characters and how the chemistry work together. I just want to know, is that what stole the movie? The chemistry of the characters and how the Justice League
I'll take this one, and
together.
I'll take this one, and absolutely, yeah, to me, that was one of the things that really, really worked, is because it felt like they really nailed the characters, down from the script. And I don't know exactly how much Whedon had an influence on, directing, we heard it's like an 80-20 split. But as far as writing and how he looked over, maybe made some tweaks to the script or anything like that, we don't know. But all I know is that when it came down to it, think about all of your favorite memories of watching Justice League and Justice League Unlimited and how those characters like played off each other's and how it was like that. It was like watching an episode of Justice League Unlimited. To me, guys, you dispute that?
I agree. I think, but like I said, I think because I don't know when Whedon got a screenplay credit in the.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Yeah, he did. So I don't know how much he wrote and how much he like had in hand in it, but you could. Because of the way he does camaraderie between characters, you could definitely feel like, for example, Avengers. I'm going to have to go back to that because they did it first. I'm sorry.
Right.
The way that you got the feeling of how Tony Stark was a smartass, had nicknames for damn near everybody on the team.
Point Break.
Cap. Yeah, exactly. Cap. Cap being Cap. Having his whole, Boy Scout, super Boy Scout thing going, kind of rubbed Tony the wrong way. Didn't necessarily gel. They had, the Mind Stone messing with him. By the time you get to the end of the movie, it seemed like, okay, these guys aren't necessarily friends, but they are close enough where if something goes off, they are going to be the ones that you're going to rely on. So it's the same thing with this, obviously. That's how you always have to do the team up dynamic. And there's some animosity. I don't know if I want to work with you. I don't know. Why should I trust you? Blah, blah, blah. When the league gets together, they're together. And you can feel that, like, there's the mutual respect. Playing off of each other's strengths, weaknesses, picking up the slack. So, that's something Whedon does extremely well. And it shows in this. And again, like I said, nothing taking anything away from Snyder, because I'm sure Snyder had, some of that same, stuff in there. It's just, I'm sorry, I know Whedon's touch when I see it. And
right. Me too.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Right. Me too. Absolutely.
It's like Snyder's more creative director.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, El.
I would like to see a Young Justice movie.
One at a time, damn it.
Poetic
One at a
justice.
time.
Gotta wait.
Yeah, one at a time.
Yeah, I'd like to see it too.
Right.
One at a
One at a time. Any other questions from the correspondence before we answer some of the ones from the Facebook?
One question.
Yes, sir.
That's the elephant in the room. No Marvel versus DC, but with Thor just coming out last week, and it to me was a great film, and I'm pretty sure this will be great. Like coming off you guys' comments, which one do you think outshines?
That's
a good one. No, that's a good one. No, that's a good one. That's a good one.
This is a hard question to answer for this reason. Because you have so many Marvel movies hitting, you know, certain peaks. When you see a good Marvel movie, you're like, yeah, that movie is good, but it didn't like blow, for me at least. I'm talking for me. It didn't blow me out of the water because I'm expecting to see a good movie from Marvel. Now, because I've been disappointed by every DC movie except for Wonder Woman and now this, I felt extremely ecstatic after watching that movie because it's just like low. Oh my gosh, they finally got it right. I literally screamed when the movie was over, bro. The lights came on. They finally got it right. And to me, it would seem like that's saying that that's better than, you know, the latest Thor, but it's just I had no expectation. And it hit me, and it made me feel great at the end of that movie. Where when I watch Marvel movies, I already have a high expectation. So if they're not hitting that level, you know, so that it's a hard question to answer. I mean, Thor was great. I loved the best Thor movie. You know, I really liked it.
Here's what I think. No, go ahead.
No,
Here's what I think how I would explain it. Marvel has been giving you filet mignon for the past
food analogies. I love it.
For real. Well, they've given you filet mignon since 2008. DC is like, man, what the hell is their recipe, man? What are they doing? How are they cooking it? They cooking it this
serving you that beef jerky.
Over, you know, and then they finally got it. It's like Wonder Woman, they're like, okay, hold on. We got it. We can make filet mignon. We can do this. And then they, you know, they finally cook it, serve it to you. Oh, this is good for you. It's about time. You know, it's good. And then they come along and they get you filet mignon and they put a little bit of extra Worcestershire sauce on it.
Worcestershire sauce.
Oh, Worcestershire sauce. Yes.
No, for real. And they put some garnish on there and they give you a free side of loaded mashed potatoes.
Bruh. Yes.
So when they do that, it's like, oh my God.
My man is speaking to me.
Where has this been all my life? So
he's speaking to me. Yes.
With Justice League is like filet mignon with some loaded mashed potatoes and a nice big ass beer or wine or whatever you may drink given to you gratis. That's what he finally has done with Justice League.
And a garnish.
They figured out how to with your garnish on the side. Nobody ever eats it, but it's on there anyway. Right? They finally figured out how to make filet mignon and serve it to you with all the trimmings. That's what Justice League is.
I have to agree. For me,
100%.
For me, let me put it to you like this. And Thor, when I saw it, I could not see it again for a few months. I'd be fine. Damn. I wanted to see Justice League again immediately. Like immediately. Like if I had to sit in there for another 2 hours to see that thing again, I would do it. Like I had to see it again right away because it was that good. I was that blown away by it. Like
I'd watch it back to back.
I would, like, without question. Like I'd watch it again and again and again. Like I've never felt this way about a DC movie ever. And this is not hyperbole. I've never felt this way about a DC movie ever. Like they couldn't, like, for real.
That has nothing to do with hate. Avengers set the bar so damn high.
It did. Like it's not about hate. It's not about hate. It's about, you know, you love these characters. You know what they should be presented like, and when you finally get it, you want to eat it up. You want to keep eating it up. And that's how I felt about Justice League. Like literally, that's how I felt. For real. All right, so we got a couple other questions that we had, actually some in the chat. Let's try and rapid fire some of them.
I saw the one from Tony Mentor. She was asking, is 2 hour runtime
2 hours enough? That was exactly the one I was about to ask.
Yeah, I actually think it was fine because it did exactly what it needed to do. It left you wanting more.
Yes.
It wasn't dragging on. It wasn't like Batman Superman was like, dude, would you guys just fight?
Hurry up. Just get it over with.
Because it was like, I'm sorry, the trailers basically laid out a blueprint of here, check this scene off, this scene, check this off. I was just waiting for the damn warehouse part.
Yeah.
Because after the little 5-minute fight they had, I'm like, oh, God, can we get to the Arkham Knight part?
Where's Martha? After Where's Martha, that kind of washed that down a little bit. The warehouse scene.
Right. And then I didn't care about Doomsday. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me either. Me either.
Nah, we're not hating. Not hating.
Not hating. This is telling you how I felt.
Telling you the truth. Is the truth.
We saw that one early too. And when we saw that, we were like, we were all looking at each other like, dude,
this chick wrote another damn note and put it on her forehead. And put it on her forehead. Come on now. Anyway, so Kalki Jackson wants to know, did they name drop any other heroes? No.
No. But you're gonna see something. We're not gonna say nothing. That's all but you're gonna see something.
Yep. That's it. It's just a no. And you gonna like, no, did they name drop the others? No, they did not. Yeah. Let's see.
I have a quick question. What box office wise do you think Justice League holding their embargo to the day the movie comes out? Don't
steal my thunder. That was one of my questions. Don't steal my thunder. Let me get there. Let me get there. So Peter Anthony's asking this question. He says, how were the after scene credits, if any?
Don't get your ass up and don't
dude.
Don't say a goddamn word.
I'm not gonna say a word, but my dude.
Don't get your ass up. Stay there to those.
Do not get up. Like I can't stress this enough.
They are following the Marvel blueprint on that one.
Yes.
That's all I can say. Because Marvel has a certain style when they do after credits.
Yeah.
They basically were like, look, if it's not broke, let's just go ahead and steal it, because that's what they did. And
let me address something real quick concerning that, right? And GQ and Dido can back me up on this. The job Warner Brothers did keeping this stuff under wraps, I have to applaud them for this. Because like I'm serious, like the way they pulled the subterfuge, they put out false articles that spread like wildfire. And everybody ate it up. And then when you see the after credits, you're gonna be like, dog, they fooled us, man. Like, they lied to us. We thought it was going to be one thing, and it was another. Like, and they did it in 2 instances in one after credit scene.
I'm happy they did that.
Yeah, I'm happy they did it too. I couldn't believe it.
We'll break into the movie theaters tonight.
Oh,
hey, my man.
I gotta know.
Man.
Spoil it.
Yeah, man.
No, don't spoil it.
Yeah, but not gonna spoil it. Like, literally, do not get up. If y'all get up, I'm telling you, you will regret it. If you get up, you'll regret it.
It was funny. Even in the screening, people was getting up leaving. I'm like,
yeah.
It's like, are y'all really that dumb? Like, okay, whatever, bye.
I could have sworn there was a girl crying behind us, though.
Yes, she was. I talked to this girl, like literally, when this movie was over, this girl was dressed up as DC Wonder Woman. DC Bombshell Wonder Woman. This girl was crying. Like she was really good, by the way. Like it was a really good costume that she had. She was crying when it was over, and I couldn't hate on her and say like she was being overly emotional. She was justified. Like it was worth it. It was worth it. Them tears. It was worth it. Yes, it was worth it.
Did you say something about Disney's DC deal or Fox deal or something? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Okay. So here we're going. This is my final question was actually going to be, and I had some other questions, but I had to remove them based off of us seeing Justice League. Like they don't apply anymore. And then someone was like, "What would be the fallout if this thing doesn't get like Avengers money or approach the claim of Wonder Woman?" This is going to blow by that. I have no problem saying that. It's gonna blow by that.
You thinking to make a billion? You thinking to make $1 billion though?
Easy.
Easy.
If it doesn't, there's a problem.
If it doesn't, there's a problem because they should. Now, if people out there that have the mentality of two people that one being my brother who's like, I'm done. I'm not gonna watch DC movies no more because Batman vs Superman hurt me so much, and I'm like, bro, this movie redeemed it. I'm sorry, Sorry, L. This movie redeemed it. And another dude that I just saw online said the same thing on IGN's Facebook, talking about, I'm not going to see it. I'm letting it blow over. Now, if you got too many of those people out there,
look, those dudes are idiots.
They go see this movie. I'm telling you.
Those dudes are idiots. Don't pay attention to those dudes. Those dudes are idiots. Those dudes are really idiots.
But it's better than Avengers 2.
We're different fan base,
and actually, that's another thing I'm gonna have us maybe try and rank it later. But let's take one question at a time. Speculate what's going to be the take home of Justice League worldwide. GQ, what do you think?
The box office?
Global. No, global overall. Like when it's finally done.
It's going to get 1.2. It's going to get 1.2.
Man, you stole my number.
Yep.
That sounds about right.
I could easily see it doing 1.2, maybe even 1.3. Like I don't know. Just I mean, because remember how the word of mouth killed like BVS like slowly. It was like almost a slow, agonizing death. The word of mouth, the word of mouth of this movie being this damn good is going to propel this thing probably faster than maybe anything we've ever seen outside of Star Wars.
Real quick, what did Wonder Woman did?
It just came in under $1 billion.
Yeah,
this should beat it because Wonder Woman was good PR for the last because they like I said right before this. So I think they're on the like I said they're on the right track.
They are.
Has to get at least 1.2 because
if it doesn't, there's a big problem.
One time, and Avengers was the one that set the bar at 1.5. And the reason it was because it was such a long build up to it. So Justice League, like I said, you're still coming in second in that regard as far as you know your movie out there. But I don't know. I think it could do 1.2.
Yeah, I think it could. Look, it's gonna get me. It's gonna get me for 3 viewings. Like, and I don't do repeat viewings for everything. This is gonna get me for 3. It's gonna get me for 3, guaranteed. I'm like for real. And Fallen Marvel's in there saying like we too lit for this movie, dude. This shit is deserving of it. It deserves it, man. I mean.
Wait, what is that card L keeps holding?
They need to hit $1 billion.
I have no idea what she keeps on. Hey, put that up. What are you holding up?
I've been trying to read it for the last.
She says the Disney deal is dead. That deal is not dead. Now I hope
It's dead. That homeboy is dead.
It is
It's
not
not dead.
Try being
Not
dead.
dead.
Why don't
Not
you
dead.
want to see good X-Men movie?
It's not dead.
Hold on.
I want to see
That's a good X-Men movie. We got some good ones.
We haven't heard from Sabrina in a while. What's she all quiet over there?
She's soaking
I
it
didn't
in.
see the movie though, but because you guys are so like excited about it, like it makes me so much more excited to like see it more than I wanted to already see it.
No, like literally, see it Thursday, see it Friday, see it Saturday, see it Sunday. Like, see it the entire weekend, and then go see it again next week on Thanksgiving break. Like, go see
I never
it.
heard you talk about a DC movie like this. This is crazy.
Come see us on Friday.
Hey,
Yeah.
No,
a good analogy would be Culture Junkies analysis of BVS and taking this show right here. How fast they skyrocketed.
Yeah, it's the truth, man. I mean, like, I would never ever we'll never fake the funk on a nasty dunk. I mean, that may be an old ass analogy, but it's the truth, man. We're not gonna lie to you and say this movie is better than what it is. No, we're gonna tell you the straight up truth. This thing is great. It's great.
You want to know one thing? Now, I don't know how many of you guys comment on the Culture Junkies Facebook, but there's one person who pretty much never likes anything.
Yep. Good old Dave, the curmudgeon.
I know who it is.
And he said he liked this movie. This movie,
dude, I had to ask him.
There.
I was like, man. I was like, look, man. I was like, so what'd you think? He was like, I can't hate on it, man. And you know when he says that. When he says that, you know you got something.
Right. Hey, I noticed Josh Money joined in. Josh, I'm not sure if you can still hear us or if you're still watching. Make sure you come out Friday and hook up with us, man. I know you're probably gonna see it on Thursday as well. But
yo, my man Josh, when we see Josh on Friday, we might have to bring a box of Kleenex for this man because he and I share a mutual love for a certain DC character. It's everything we ever want. Oh, and by the way, can we give a shout out to the legendary Danny Elfman?
Oh man,
that soundtrack,
I'm
bro.
excited about that.
That soundtrack, bro.
So excited for the music.
We like weaving. Like, no, you can get it right now. Like, if you have a Google Play Music subscription,
listen to it. Yeah.
If you have it, you can add it to your library. I like literally at work. At my day job, at my alter ego as an art director at an agency, I listened to that thing the entire day on repeat.
It's very listenable, and that was what was missing. And again, Man of Steel has some great music, some cool themes, but it never felt like Superman from the comics. It always
dude, the goosebumps you got from hearing the melodies of the Batman theme from Danny Elfman's 1989 musical score. You heard that all throughout that soundtrack. It was everywhere.
Damn, nice.
And then you heard Superman's theme in proper places.
John Williams,
it was crazy.
Mixed with the Hans Zimmerman too, because that was fucking fire.
Yeah, they played a little bit of that. They did play a little bit of that. They had a little bit of Hans Zimmer in there, but they had the John Williams Superman theme woven in. It was fantastic.
That's exciting. That's super exciting. That's Justice League right there.
You gotta listen to it, man. It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good. You gotta listen to it.
It's so good. I'm a big score guy, right? I love listening to musical scores. Like the Star Wars score, I have them all. Star Trek scores, I have them all. This, I would gladly add this to my collection. It's worth it. It's so good.
Even Star Trek the motion picture?
Yes. Especially Star Trek the motion picture, actually.
on purpose.
Yes, on purpose. Star Trek the motion picture. Say what you want about Star Trek the motion picture. The movie itself, that soundtrack is untouchable. The score is untouchable. It's great.
The only thing good they got from that is the Next Generation's.
Whatever, man. I ain't trying to hear that. That ain't true.
Because everything else from that movie is garbage. I'm sorry.
That ain't true. That ain't true. So anyway, guys, we hope. We spent like this entire hour talking about Justice League. I can't tell you how excited it is. Make sure you share this video with everybody out there. If they're hyped about Justice League, tell them like there's no spoilers. If they've never watched us before, have them follow us because definitely when this thing is over with, come next week and all the gloves are off. Oh baby.
Yo,
oh baby.
One quick question for us all over.
Yeah.
As of this year, 2017, do you think this is the best year of comic book movies ever of all time?
That's hard to say.
It's
like right now I'd probably say no. Right now I'd probably say no.
No, give me another year that
2018. It's gonna be 2018.
2018, my friend.
I'm sorry.
Well, we ain't seen 2018 though.
We know what's coming in 2018.
2018. That's why
we know what's coming in 2018.
You got Black Panther.
We know it's coming though, but as of right now, now.
As of right now, still no. I think previous years have outdone this year.
I don't know. Look at them consecutively. It has not been one Rotten Tomato splat yet. And Justice League has yet to come out, and what I'm hearing is not going to be a splat. So
Q might have a point.
Q
might have a point.
2012.
Q might have a point, but
2012 you got a weak link, right?
No.
I don't know. I gotta look it up, but I don't know. But 17.
You might have a point. For superhero movies, this year has had a pretty solid lineup. I'm not gonna lie, but I don't know, man. I'd have to really think about that.
Yeah, it's all solid. All solid.
Yeah, Black Panther next year is going to be the year.
Black Panther leading into Infinity War. I'm sorry, that's going to.
Yeah, I'd have to really think about that. So anyway, guys,
you have your right now for the Black Panther premiere. Make sure everybody got that.
I think this year's got it.
Like Prince used to say in that song, "I've seen the future, and it will be."
Yeah, it will be. I think next year will be fire too, but. As of this year, we don't have no winged links. Of all comic book movies came out this year, it's not a winged leap. Spider-Man 2, Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Logan.
Wait! Stop!
Guardians 2 wasn't all that hot.
Not all that great.
But still, it's still positive. It's not garbage though. You know what I'm saying? It's still. I put it last on my list. Wonder Woman came out this year.
Yeah, Guardians 2 had a hard thing to live up to. That's all that was.
That could be good.
Not a bad movie.
Guardians 2 was not nearly as good as the first one. It was.
I agree. But I don't think it's a bad movie.
But it was a letdown in every category, though.
Yeah, it was not good. Yeah, definitely something that could be up for discussion.
I don't know. But you look at last year, like X-Men Apocalypse and the other garbage that came out.
I hear you, dude.
Last year.
I hear you, Q. I hear you, Q. Tamp it down, bro. Yeah, man. I gotta put a bottle on this dude. Like when he get going, good lord, you can't stop him.
This might
Dang.
be the best year of comic book movies of all time. As of right now, 2018 is looking very promising. Deadpool 2, Infinity War. Yep.
I had to do it to him, man. I had to. If I didn't do it to him, he would just keep on going forever. He probably is still going, even though I muted him. He doesn't even realize that I muted him. So anyway, guys, we got to get ready. Go ahead and get ready to get out of here. I couldn't even get to all the stuff that I wanted to get to today. Make sure you consume some of the stuff that's getting ready to come out this week, like Battlefront 2. I'm playing some on Twitch. Come and check me out on there. The Punisher comes out on Friday. That's going to be dope. Obviously, Justice League comes out on Friday. Definitely go and see that. Come back next Tuesday when we talk about all the reactions to Justice League, and we can finally talk about everything that we wanted to talk about and why we're so excited for this thing. Make sure you come back next week, Tuesday, for GQ, for Dido, and for all the rest of the Culture Junkies. I'm Kishiro. We'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace out.
Catch you on the flip side.
Bye bye, everybody. Take care. See you next week.